Start.
Sir, may I present my side on behalf of the prosecution in the case of State versus A1 and others. On 4 December 2020 in the morning at or about 8 am, informant B was the first information report under section 154 of CRPC in police station city Kotwali Reva to the effect on 30 November 2020 in the evening at or about 7 pm. While he was resting in his drawing room, just after he came from office, suddenly accused A1 and A2 because of his open drainage towards their plot started to abuse B. When B went out to see what is happening outside, A1 and A2 chased B with lathi inside the house and assaulted B, because of which B sustained bleeding injuries overhead on right arm. When W, wife of B, tried to save B, accused A1 and A2 also gave lathi blows to W, who sustained bleeding injuries over left arm and right leg. When other family members of B and neighbors come and shouted to save B, and B and W, both accused person, intimidated B by threatening to cause death and fled away from the place of incident. B immediately went to Vidya Hospital, Reva, along with W, and after discharge from the hospital on 4 December 2020, B with plaster in his right arm and bandage over his head along with W to city Kotwali Reva and lost the report. Thereby police registration of case under crime number 9046 of 20. Witnesses were examined by the informant and victim side plan was prepared on the obtaining MLC report from the Vidya Hospital, Reva. It was found that W sustained simple injuries and B sustained grievous injuries by hard and blunt objects. Accused A1 and A2 were arrested. Lathi were also seized from the spot, and after completion of investigation, charge sheet against A1 and A2 was filed. Sir, he has the charges on accused. There are two accused, A1 and A2. So according to section 34 of Indian Penal Code 1860, act done by several persons in furtherance of common intention. Section 325 of IPC for voluntary causing grievous hurt. Section 326 of IPC for voluntary causing grievous hurt by dangerous weapon or means. 506 for criminal intimidation. 448 for house trespass, and section 352 of IPC for assault or criminal force otherwise than of grave provocation. So prosecution evidence. Prosecution has examined as many as 5 witnesses. In examination in chief under section 137 of IPC, B stated that on the date and the time of incident, the accused A1 and A2 entered into his house and assaulted him over right arm and right side on the head with lathi. When his wife W tried to save him, both the accused person also gave lathi blows to W. The report filed by him is EXP1 and spot map also prepared. He remained admitted at hospital for 3 days because his right arm was fractured. In cross-examination, he has denied the suggestion of defense that he has sustained injury from fall by the motorcycle. Another injured when W also supported the prosecution version to the extent of B prosecution case. Prosecution witness R also corroborated the version to extent to the B prosecution case. Dr. D, PW4 also corroborated the version of B and W by proving their MLC report, exhibit P3 and P4, X-ray report of B and article A1 and A2 with minor variation. The injuries on W was on right arm and right leg. So in the case of Ram Narayan versus State of UP, the court said MLC report given by the doctor will take in as relevant as the expert opinion.
Here on the behalf of defense, my plea for defense is that both the accused person advanced defense that complainant has grudge because they are prohibiting complainant from draining water in their open plot. Complainant and his wife fell down from motorcycle and lodged a false complaint to take advantage of the situation. There are several evidences, and that is neighbor of the accused person examined that the plot is beside the house of B and the water collecting in the plot making it a marshland. B is a municipal officer and not making any arrangements for his drainage system. B purchased new motorcycle which he was unable to drive. The W, wife of B, claims injury on the left arm and right leg, but there was variation in the medical report which identified that injury on the right arm and right leg. Now, according to the facts present by the prosecution, both assaulted by the same lathi. Then how could B got grievous injury and both on the same arm is possible when there is intentional targeting on the particular arm? But as per them, W got injured during the saving of B, means there is no intention of hitting her on the same arm. This proves that they fall from the motorcycle which causes these injuries. Delay in lodging FIR. The incident happened on 30/11/2020 and FIR was lodged on 4/12/2020. There is delay of 4 days which is unexplained and unreasonable as they got fracture on the hand only, and W was not even that hurt that she could not lodge a FIR. The prosecution said that he came back from office on 30/11/2020, which was lie as there was a public holiday on the occasion of Kartik Purnima Guru Nanak Jayanti.
There is no ground to extend to both this give to testimony of victim. Both accused persons are liable to convict for their act. Medical report and the witness give clear view of the case. Prosecution was seriously hurt and got admitted to hospital for 3 days. As they mentioned, they requested me many times to make arrangement for the drainage. It means they already had a grudges. And sir, as my opposition mentioned in their statement that there is a delay in lodging FIR. So I represent the MLC report as well as X-ray report which is given by the doctor. It stated that B has a fracture on his right arm and admitted hospital for 3 days. After being discharged from the hospital, B immediately lodged the FIR at or about 8 a.m. Sent the case of State of Himachal Pradesh versus Gyanchand 2001. Honorable Supreme Court held that the delay in lodging FIR cannot be used to cast doubt on the case of prosecution. And another case is Ravindra Kumar and other versus State of Punjab 2001. Justice K.T. Thomas refusing to consider the delay in lodging the FIR as fatal to the prosecution in the case. It is to be remembered that the law has not prescribed any time for registration of FIR. Therefore, delay registration FIR is not invalid.
Defense of prosecution. I want to state that all the witnesses of the prosecution are not independent witness and supporting the story made by W and B. Prosecution witness 4. That is, doctor confirms the medical report, MLC, but there are variation in the medical report which made the suspension on the prosecution. In case of Ram Narayan Singh versus State of Punjab, it was held that where the evidence of the witness for the prosecution is inconsistent with the medical evidence, it amounts to a fundamental defect in the prosecution case, and unless reasonably examined, it is sufficient to discredit the entire case, and there are minor variations in the medical reports. Blood on the lathi. If they removed the blood from the lathi, then why they didn't remove the lathi itself? And there is delay in FIR, and unexplained delay can be considered as a very crucial factor for quashing a criminal complaint, and the law is to provide shield but not the sword.
Stated we had badly injured. Sir, here the some case references are Narendra and other versus State of UP 2019. This case is also related to section 325 and 506, and in this case the accused was convicted, and other cases like Dwarikanath Prasad versus State of Bihar and Salim versus State of UP stated the similar fact. So accused are convicted.
In which it is stated that delay sometimes afford opportunity. So in case of Dilwar Singh versus State of Delhi, delay sometimes afford opportunity to the complainant to make the fabrication. That is why if there is a delay, the court always view the allegations with suspicion and took for satisfactory explanation. If there is such explanatory delay, is treated as fatal to the prosecution case. And regarding variation in medical and ocular evidences is considered to be the best evidence unless there are reasons to doubt it. So I request to Honorable Court the standard of their defense of preponderance of probability, so they are entitled to be exonerated from the charges with which they are subjected to the trial.